right, Matt Pete says they're willing to go the distance, as are Steve McNamara's Catalan Dragons. A reminder, if we are locked up at tied up after 80 minutes, it will go to golden point extra time. You'll enjoy all of those thrills in the company of our commentary team, Barry McDermott, Terry O'Connor, and we'll say good evening once more to Bill Arthur.
Thank you, Brian. 26th Super League Grand Final, second half about to get underway. The scores level at 2 points apiece. As mentioned previously, the first time since 2012, since it's been all square at half-time. That was Leeds against Warrington, 14-all. Leeds went on to win on that occasion. It is so difficult to see how this one is going to pan out. You just wonder if at some point these wingers that Wigan have had running amok in Super League this season will get their chance. Or likewise will Catalans. Tom Johnston, a real threat, but defensive heroics from him at the end of that first half. Tompkins gets the second half underway and may go with the first charge of the second half.
Well, someone's going to make a name for themselves, aren't they? In season 2023, when you look at it and look what's happened, very cagey in that first half, you can tell by the scoreline. And I think that Catalan probably just edged it in that first half. Defensively, they were good. They managed to get 7 offloads away. Wigan didn't look to force the ball. They didn't manage to get one away. Whether that's just because they want to play the percentage sort of game, but they're still looking to throw the ball around.
Seguier throwing himself into the challenge on Morgan Smithies there. Two players with a similar sort of philosophy. The chance opens up for Wigan here now. The chance opens up for King with Miski on his outside. Gives the pass to Miski and maybe just delayed a hint too much. Miski comes back in field, then goes back out.
What you would say as well, though, Tom Johnson did a decent job. He didn't bite in and try and solve it on his own.
On the last, the kick cross field towards the other flank. The ball is going to end up in the arms of Ikavalu, and that is a let-off for the Catalan Dragons there.
Of course it is, and that's what Wigan have got. They'll look up, they'll see something, they'll play it. As soon as a player makes the wrong decision defensively, like good teams, they'll get you on the edge.
Well, you got your wish, Bill, didn't you? A little bit of ball freedom. It all came again from Patrick Mago. Runs like a truck, and on that occasion, finds a pass, and then Wigan finds some space over on their right.
The Catalan managed to keep the threats of Miski at bay. The Lebanese international has 18 tries in his last 9 Wigan games. Here is Mike McMeekin, Basingstoke's very own.
Stand up, goal 5.
Michael Oram, Tompkins, just over the 40-metre line, thumps the kick downfield into the arms of Jay Fields.
Solid line in front of him again. You have to commend both sets of players.
Goal 1, Tyrone's out.
Kick chase, effort, and you can talk about defensive systems all you like. It's the attitude and the ability to apply that attitude that's on show today.
Toby King, Busquet, Whitley in there to make the tackle.
Goal 3.
Sam Powell, his testimonial season, will it conclude with grand final glory here for another long-term Wigan servant? Powell, his 6th grand final appearance. To go down the short side, and Wardle is away. Wardle is away. He's got a man outside him, and Wardle is into touch, and Catalan
Tom Davis, correct.
Managed to survive again.
Well, something's happening back play with Tom Davis.
Over there.
We were in the picture.
Magnificent tackle from Sam Tompkins. As that line is broken,
It's going to be a sin
you
bin.
feel, don't you, Jake Wardle's got all kinds of things going through his mind. Wonderful decision to go on the short side, and Tom Davis is holding Liam Marshall back.
He's going to get 10 minutes in the sin bin here.
Another sin binning.
Wow. Wow. Well, they cut him open on the right-hand side, they cut him open on the left, they don't score a try, but the benefit and what they do get is that man in the sin bin for 10 minutes.
No, I don't think they'll take 2 here, will they? They'll want the ball, they want to pile the pressure on Catalan Dragons with 12 men.
There's not enough certainty. No,
That's a big price to pay as Davis leaves the field. They denied Wigan there, but it's going to cost them, you feel. Catalans survived in the first half when Kieran was in the sin bin. They're going to have to do it all over again.
Can't keep doing it. You can't keep just coming up with indisciplined effort. It's cost you.
Oh, Kai Pearce-Paul bouncing, getting the ball away to Wardle. Wardle trying to step back in field, just outside that Catalan 10. Wigan starting this second half on fire. And the Wigan supporters sensing their opportunity here. Smithies, Wigan playing towards that Stretford end where their supporters are packed. Powell's pass. Harry Smith, here is French, oh, massive hit on Willie Isa.
Was it Adam Kieran on Willie Isa then? Tell you what, the outside backs have pulled off some decent shots.
Isa nonchalantly gets back to his feet after this. Harry Smith, field, the ball.
There's an obstruction, Bill. You know them inside defenders have got to work really hard. When the ball goes away from you, you've got to keep pushing. Look, you can see the line's not quite intact. It's Mike McMeekan that's taken out. Was it Morgan Smithies that's trying to get through the line? And he just runs into Mike McMeekan, stops him in his tracks and opens the gap up.
We look at the legality of plays like that on inside-outside shoulders. Here's Wardle again. Makes a break. Tom Davis and Liam Marshall in back play. Well, he knows it was always a risk and a gamble. Whenever you tug a player, you're behind, and you tug the player in front, the back of his shirt. He knows his side are under a bit of pressure now.
A grand final winner in 2018 with Wigan, Tom Davis. Now in Catalan colours, and what a success he has been. 81 Catalan appearances. Tom Davis has got 51 tries, but he's going to have to sit out the next 8 minutes or so. And Catalan, they have shown such defensive desire already this evening, operating with 12 men. It's got to have an impact on them.
Well, you'd think so. They're back in the game. You don't respect the decisions from the referee. You don't respect possession and where you are. You keep turning over. Look, mistakes like that. It just puts you on the back foot, doesn't it? Makes this play the ball a bit slower, so the next carry, it's not really going to trouble the Warriors line.
Bill, ideally you wouldn't want to lose any players to the sin bin, but they handled and managed the first occasion. Think about what confidence they'll get if they do manage the second one.
Tompkins launches the kick, Field is underneath it, and Field will look to counter as he always does. First look is what the opposition defensive line might offer. Here is Marshall, little shimmy, but Seguier was quickly in there to make the tackle for the Catalan Dragons.
Yeah, nice harassing defence, wasn't it, on Marshall? Again, just getting up quick, cutting down the thinking time for those outside backs.
Release, go free.
King hassled with the tackle. Now then, Smith looking maybe for a 40-20, but it's straight into the arms of Matt Ikevalu.
Do you know what, Bill? Instead of kicking that ball, then I think it was on to run it. There was only 3 defenders defending the right-hand side.
And let's not forget, Ikevalu is the centre that's actually replacing the winger.
Matt Ikevalu won the World Club Challenge in his Roosters days against Wigan in 2019.
I'm sure Matt Pete is getting the message down. Let's have a look at them on the edges.
There's Navarrete. It's a big stop on Romain Navarrete from his former teammates. McAlorum, Bousquet. 5th tackle. Catalan happy to play the game in Wigan territory as Tompkins puts the pressure on Miskey. The tackle well timed by Whitley.
He does a lot of those things really well, Matt Whitley. Times his run to perfection, therefore his tackle.
And King can't make any progress. It's good from Catalan.
He's got another 5 tackles. It was Michael McLaurin that shot the line, then he pulled the trigger and went for King.
Here's Marshall. 2 points apiece it remains.
Go 3, good.
Powell, little dart from him.
Move, squirmy kick. Hold. Goal 4.
Here is Patrick Mago. These two sides battering each other. They have been all night.
Goal 4.
Few frills out there.
Well, he just drops that ball, didn't he, Patrick
think he's
Mago,
offloading
then?
it.
Yeah, he did. He dropped the ball trying to get that offload away.
Jay Field would do well following the big man whenever he carries forward.
Here is Field now. Fields going towards the sideline. Back infield to Wardle. Wardle flings it back. It reaches Field again. And Field gets away. Field past the French. Forward! Forward to
Johnson
French.
again.
Miles forward.
And that's what I was talking about before. Instead of kicking the ball, run it on the last player when the winger or the centre who's dropped to the wing has had to drop back. There's some space. If you've got players like Field and French who can cause problems with the speed, run the ball. Just ask some questions. It's going to be a big play that wins this game.
It could be a defensive big play. Tom Johnson makes that tackle, comes from the opposite wing.
Your ball, hand over, forward pass.
Wry smile from Bevan French. The closest we have come to a try tonight.
Well, we're collecting the metres that players run. Tom Johnson is on 96. I'd love to know how many he has done without the ball. He's got 96 with the ball, and he's just saved another certain try. Without him being there, I think Wigan go in and get the first try of the game. That's the reason he's being congratulated. He's over on the top of the screen to our right. You can see he's always moving. He's always in motion, anticipating if he's needed, he's going to have to be in the right place at the time. Jay Field thinks, I'm in. All I've got to do is accelerate to the corner. Tom Johnson, no you don't, pal.
Tom Davis still waiting on the sideline for his return. 4 minutes still without a full complement for the Catalan Dragons. Takiaho is back out there. Oh, Willie Isa. Come to Willie, he says.
Do you know, they've got to be pretty clinical here now with the accuracy of the passing from dummy half. Look, when you're a player who's carrying the ball from back near your own line, you know that shots like this are coming at you frequently, and they're just getting off the line, they're intimidating.
And that's where you need your support runners, Tez. You can't run one out, you've got to run in numbers, so they can't all swarm towards the ball carrier.
Tompkins, the pass is a stray one. It's picked up to their relief by Matty Cavallo. That almost gifted Wigan possession there.
Even the most experienced player panicking a bit.
Pierce drives the kick down deep into the arms of Abbas Miski. Once the London Broncos and Manly. And now a Wigan hero in a very short space of time because of his try-scoring exploits.
Incredible to think he was on loan at London in the Championship at the start of the year, and look at him now.
Pierce with the tackle. Here is Liam Marshall now.
3. Move. Hold.
Catalan
Hold.
just clinging on slightly here at the moment. Patrick Mago up to the halfway line. 4 tackles gone this set for the Wigan Warriors. Smith. Here is Field once more. Field gets the pass away to the threatening Wardle. Wardle away from the first. Not to Farrell. Farrell gets the pass away to Marshall. And Marshall will get the first try of the night. Eventually Wigan find a way through. Farrell denied. But Marshall would not be. Well, they have been threatening that virtually from the start of this second half. And it is Liam Marshall getting his 24th of the season, who finally finds a way through. Liam Marshall, who got a hat-trick in the semi-final against Hokea last week, gets the first try of the night after 51 minutes.
Well, there's a different mindset, isn't there, in this Wigan side. Good footwork from Wardle. Farrell comes up with a play that supplies the pass to Liam Marshall in his first grand final appearance. He comes up with the try. Quality play. That left edge has been threatening all second half. They've been tormenting Catalan for the 12 minutes. And that's what they were after. Matty Pete looked pretty composed, happy at the start of the game. knew exactly what sort of players he's got within his ranks. And even though they lost Ethan Abbott with that injury, he still knows that the other 16 players left available to him could go on and win this job.
A brutal try to concede for the Catalan Dragons. Tom Davies is imminently returning to the side where the try is scored. They lacked numbers because the winger wasn't on the field. There was 2 minutes of his sin bin left when the try is scored. Ruthless from Wigan, though.
And the Wigan supporters with a try to cheer at last. Amazingly, for all his service to the club, Liam Marshall playing in his first grand final. He missed out in 2018 and in 2020. Harry Smith. Bang on target, crucially for Wigan tonight, who lead by 8 points to 2.
Wigan Warriors smart enough on that occasion to find the space, find where the opportunity was. It wasn't pretty. Offload you wouldn't normally want to see, but if an offload goes to hand, it's a good one. And Matty Pete, Thomas Luluai, the rest of the coaching staff will just breathe a little bit lighter in a big moment for Liam Marshall. I bumped into his dad, David Marshall, who also represented the Wigan Warriors back in the late 80s and 90s. What a day for that family.
So can Catalan respond? They have been on the back foot so far in this second half. Tom Davies prowling, still waiting for his chance to come back, to get out there and maybe to atone. And ironically, they lost his services because it was Liam Marshall who took out the game, wasn't it, in that the previous Wigan attack. Davies back out there as Wigan again come to this side and again try and get Field away. They appeal for a high tackle on their man.
And even with Tom Davies back on the field now, they still look like they look at that left-hand side, don't they? They didn't come up with one offload in the first half, they come up with 4 in this second half.
Here they come again on the last. Smith kicking on the run. Davies comes to claim the ball and does well there. First touch since his return.
What a confident catch. He's obviously had 10 minutes to think about what his side need, but we've got one of the world's best wingers in Ryan Hall as our studio guest. He'll talk about how difficult it is. There's that catch again, how difficult it is to play against Wigan, knowing that they kick on 3, they kick on 4, so you may have to go back and anticipate the kick. But if the kick doesn't come, you have to join the defensive line again, so always on your toes.
Takiaho, twice a grand final winner in his MRL days, Takiaho. Tyrone May, a grand final winner in his Penrith days.
He just pulls it back then, Tyrone May, instead of passing that ball. If he passes that ball, I think Wigan are in with an intercept.
Pierce, bit of space there, and Field has to come across and gather that one. Whitley with the tackle. Born on the border of Wigan and St Helens, Matt Whitley. Here is King.
Tyler Dupree back on for Wigan now. Patrick Maygold getting a bit of air back in those lungs. I'm sure we'll see him again before the end of the match. Here's Tyler Dupree.
He's played in a grand final. It was an academy grand final in his Leeds days where his career started, Tyler Dupree. Lost to Wigan. Now he's hoping to be on the winning side with Wigan. As Smithies plays the ball, is Powell, Harry Smith. The kick is charged down and picked up by McMeekin.
Yeah, that's some good pressure on Harry Smith. He's calling for the ball. He's organising. Ryan McMeekin now just gets a 6 again, restart here.
Pulls it out anyway, so.
Here is Kieran. On the plus side with these sin binnings, you've got Kieran and Davies who've done 10 minutes less. Whether that can have any bearing. Here's Takiaho, because this has been a gruelling contest.
I think they've missed Takiaho. He does have that passing game in his toolkit. The other players that play for Catalan Dragons, their head down, more about momentum and speed of play the ball, but he offers something different, Takiaho.
Garcia playing the ball, 3 tackles gone. And Tyrone May going nowhere because Willie Isa was very quickly up on him.
Yeah, nice read from the back rower.
Tompkins, his Pierce, a lovely step, then flicks the ball, but Tompkins is going to have to gather it. Oh, good hands from Garcia. Here's Seguier, and Wardle quickly up to close down Seguier. Scrambling from the Catalan Dragons there. On the last, Pierce gets the kick away despite the attention of Kai Pierce-Paul, and it's well claimed by Miski, despite the traffic all around him.
Well, kicking to Miski's side again, looking for Tom Johnson to get up and challenge him. Been a lot bigger than Miski, but look at this. Again, good play from the wingman.
Miski once more.
Stand free. Hold.
Scored a hat-trick against the Catalan Dragons in August, Abbas Miski. The last time these two sides met, 34-0 it was. This, a very, very different contest, this one. This is a bruising battle between the top two in Super League. French, room to kick. And Tompkins will have to gather that virtually on his own try line. And French has chased all the way. And French it is who makes the tackle.
And every time he kicks the ball, he's always first down. He's not waiting for any of his teammates to get up with him. And mainly because they can't get up with him, he's that quick.
You just feel the shift in balance now, don't you?
Yeah.
Wigan growing in, look like they're running downhill towards the final quarter, and Catalan behind on the scoreboard, just finding it a bit difficult.
And they've had a lot of work to do in this second half, the Catalan Dragons, a lot of defensive work.
Yeah, they look like they're desperate for a couple of penalties here now to give them some more energy. Steve McNamara knows it's going to be a tough ask to beat Wigan, and 2 men have been sin-binned.
Here's Seguier. Artie Morg is on the bench. He didn't use Artie Morg in the game against St Helens last week, the semi-final victory.
He's got to bring him on, hasn't it? Michael McAlorum leads the line in defence, but he'd spark up the number 9 position, I'm sure, Artie Morg.
Tompkins under pressure. The kick is comfortably into the arms of Toby King.
Bill, especially if some of those Wigan players have to play bigger minutes because of Ethan Havard.
Morg to exploit the fatigue factor, maybe.
All night hold. Ball 2.
Here's Powell. Liam Marshall now. Again, Seguier. We've got that. You can see the blood just oozing from the cut on his forehead, but he's done well since returning to the fray. Smithies. And again, kicking early. Good kick from Smith into the corner. And Tompkins is penned in.
Terrific kicking, isn't it? They're really isolating Sam Tompkins, who, unlike most fullbacks, wants to find a winger to gain that ground.
Davis taking matters into his own hands and almost flirting with the sideline.
You know, Bill, there's a real defensive attitude now. They've got the noses in front on the scoreboard, kicking on the third play, knowing then everything else seems to be in a balance. They've got to make Catalan play from deep in their own half.
There's a weariness about Catalan at the moment.
Yeah, and to make it worse, they've just lost the back. Mate Cavallo's limping off on the sideline. Manu Mau is on. So Catalan Dragons shuffling the pack.
McAlorum it is, putting the kick in on the 5th tackle, and it bounces nicely for Field, who returns it at pace until he's stopped in his tracks by Manu Mau.
Hold. Got 1.
Here is Miski. Oh, that's a penalty. Takiaho was high.
No, it's a grab, isn't it, from Takiaho? You know, sometimes when you start getting a bit fatigued, you start making those mistakes, the grab, the lunges, and it just clips him. As soon as he does it and makes contact, he turns round to look at the referee, Liam Moore, knowing that he's probably going to get picked up for it.
Wigan definitely having the better of this second half so far, not just by virtue of the fact that they've scored that try from Liam Marshall, but territorially they've had the upper hand.
It was just a different attitude. They come out in the first 5 minutes, they threw the ball around, they broke them on either edge. Since then, they've just been taking them on at the middle of the field. The forward's been doing a job, been rolling forward. Again, going short side.
Fields, he is just probing, looking for a gap, and you get the feeling he is going to find one very soon. Powell, Smith, French, quick hands. Oh, Miski, good juggling work from Abbas Miski. He powers back in field. Thumping tackle from Manu Mao. Needed to be to stop Abbas Miski's rumble. Here is Tyler Dupree. That looked like another high tackle. It was.
Well, they'll go for 2 points here. They're absolutely desperate. They're clinging on. Catalan, the game's too quick for them. Bit of a step, bit of a change of direction. Beats Mickey McLaurin. Gets a high shot from Adam Kieran.
They've got to make that change, haven't they, Catalan Dragons? Surely. Artyom Mork just below us, warming up.
Well, he came on at the Magic weekend and he had a big influence,
and you do make a bit of force with the head. I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt on this one and say it's a penalty. Just be very careful, mate.
Okay. In the first half. He'll be in cherry and white next season.
Well, it was secondary contact to the head, according to the referee, Liam Moore. I hope for a second there could have been another one. There could have been another sin bin.
Well, he waited for a grand final sin binning till last year's Tommy Makinson sin binning, the first ever, and then you get two in one grand final. Kieran and Tom Davis of the Catalan Dragons, who will be grateful that Harry Smith is going for 2 points, just to give him a bit of a breather.
Cheers, Chris. Yeah, I agree with that.
So Smith 2 from 2 to his name. And the way he's been kicking tonight, you fancy that he's going to extend the Wigan Warriors' lead, take him into double figures, and make life even trickier for the Catalan Dragons. Wigan's season grand final campaigners, Catalan Dragons only in their second grand final, looking to become only the 5th side Catalan to add their name to the tally of grand final winners. But as it stands at the moment, with Harry Smith adding 2 more points and making it 10 out of 10 for him in the playoffs, and 10-2 on the scoreboard.
That's it, he's been kidding everyone all year, hasn't he? You just look at that scoreboard. He's kicked 6 points. They went into the playoffs with a 62% success rate from the kicking team. Harry Smith, well, when it's mattered, he's been nailing them from everywhere.
Can Catalan find some inspiration from somewhere? Can they turn the tide here at Old Trafford?
Well, the big thing for them now, because they're chasing the game, they've got to be disciplined. We know how sometimes over the years how they've reacted when things have gone against them. The big thing for them now is playing with a cool head and a cool mind.
Let's go down to the sidelines. More news from Jenna.
Yeah, Bill, a couple of minutes ago we saw Matt Ikuvalu come off with what looked like a head injury. I can tell you he's actually been having his knee checked, the medial ligaments, his ACL as well. They have just strapped his knee, which I'd say is likely to return.
Thanks, Jenna.
5.
That's the 5th tackle.
Move, Manu. Goal 5.
Tyler Dupree playing the ball. French kicks downfield. Tom Davis gathers.
1.
Enthusiastic returner of the ball, Tom Davis.
On the mark. Goal 1.
But not getting any chains out of the defensive line.
2.
Tompkins likewise. The step that wrong-footed St Helens last week in that dramatic final seconds of the game.
3.
Well, Wigan have seen it all before, of course.
Back now, Sam, come on. Hold. Goal 3, nice and quick.
Julian Bousquet.
Well, back onto the field now to lend his way and try and get some go forward.
There is Pearce, Tyrone May,
5.
Manu Mao. That's the 5th tackle, good defence. Down the short side goes Tyrone May. May with the kick. Johnston was battling for the ball. It's still loose. And Pearce will, just for neatness, make a dive on the ball, but it'll be knocked on by the Catalan Dragons.
He does everything right, doesn't he? Plays to the whistle, Mitchell Pearce.
Discipline, boys,
But there's a clear knock-on from Tom Johnson. But that change we've been talking about, the change in the dynamics for Catalan Dragons, looks like it's about to happen. Artyom Morg, number in hand, shirt off, ready to make a name for himself.
Still one.
Here's Sam Powell. Wardle. McMeekin. And Garcia, the captain, the tackler. Here is Marshall. Artyom Morg on the sideline. Didn't get on against Saints last week, having been out of the side for quite a while.
Goal 4. Cheers, mate.
Well, he did a job against Wigan at Magic Weekend. He got a try and 7 goals.
What we get, hold.
They wouldn't give for a try from Artyom Morg. But it's Wigan on the attack, and it's Field, and Field trying to cut through, and Pearce with a good tackle. That'll be the turnover.
Well, you like it again, don't you? They're not just on the, because it's the last play, they're going to kick. Harry Smith just has a little look at what the defence is doing, what's unfolding from them, and chooses to run that ball. And the amount of times there's been some half breaks over on the left-hand side from Jay Field. Certainly troubling Catalan.
Morg, his first involvement, and he has replaced the veteran Mitchell Pearce. So Pearce leaves the field as McMeekin looks to play the ball. Here is Tyrone May. Morg stretches for the ball, gets the pass away. Kieran tackled. Morg once more. May. Tompkins signalling where he wants McMeekin to go. And then McMeekin. Footwork from the front rower.
Release now, 5.
Cade Ellis denying him maybe an offload. Morg with the kick outside of the boot. Miskey again underneath it. No great pressure on the winger.
Cast your mind back to Steve McNamara at half-time. We've got to be better on last plays. We haven't seen much improvement, have we, in the second half? They're not putting the blow-touch pressure on Wigan as they are to them.
Pensive-looking Catalan Dragons coach Steve McNamara, Eamon O'Carroll alongside him. Marshall, McIlorum, feisty, terrier-like in the face of Wigan players. Mickey Mack. Here is Liam Farrell now.
5. Move! Go 5.
Harry Smith. That's a tall kick. Davis is going to come for it, and Davis claims it well.
As soon as he gets the ball, he's just desperate to get to the ground. You know, Wigan now, they're just going to knock off these sets of 6, aren't they? They've probably got about 5, maybe 6 sets of 6 to defend. And when you've been the best defensive team in the competition all year, you're not going to let any one of those 36 tackles that you've got to make in the remainder of this game, you're not going to miss a tackle.
Tell you what, we spoke before the game, and a lot was made before a game about the threat of the wingers. You know, Miskey, Marshall, Davis, Johnston. They seem to have spent most of the night looking up into the skies, waiting for the ball to come down.
And that's because of the respect that their opposition have for them and the game management.
Oh, the pass from Tompkins sails out of play.
He's got to try and force things. He's got to make things happen. But the player in front of him, Harry Smith, with the ball when he's, in terms of passing, with the ball when he's been kicking. And on that occasion in defence, he puts enough doubt in the mind of Sam Tompkins. Harry Sunderland Trophy is always a coveted one. It's something that everybody is revered around the game while they're winning it. We're into that territory now with quite a few that are putting the name forward, but I reckon, you know, it's going to be one of those halfbacks that have managed to control the game.
Here is Kai Pearce-Paul hoping to bow out as a Wigan player with grand final glory. Willie Isa, season campaigner Willie Isa, made his 200th Wigan appearance last weekend in the semi-final win against Hull KR. Cade Ellis. Wigan edging their way forward. They lead by 10 points to 2 as Powell picks the ball up. Smith back on the inside to Smithism. Busquets comes and stops him in his tracks. Catalans still battling, but they have been up against it for most of this second half. Smith's kick. Davies again prepares for the ball. This time Field gets it and tries to offload it, and it's into the hands of Whitley, who is carted towards the sidelines but manages to get to ground.
I think Harry Smith has been brilliant in this second half. He's been leading the way in everything. Look at him defensively there, really slowing that ruck down.
Cheers,
well, they give her a penalty for a stretch.
It
couldn't have been Harry. No, I don't think it was Harry Smith. I think it was Cade Ellis.
Innocent Harry Smith.
He's been brilliant. He's been organising the troops. This left edge, he's terrorised them.
And his communication, both verbally and what he's doing with his hands and his arms, the way he's pointing, the way he's manoeuvring people around. They've got to think clear, haven't they, halfbacks? They've got to be decisive, and they've got to have commitment in those decisions that they make.
Takiaho plays the ball. Garcia on it comes to Tyrone May. May to Manu Mao, but that's good defence on their own 40 from the Wigan Warriors, who've shown precious little sign of allowing the Catalan Dragons back into this game. Catalan are going to have to conjure something up like they did last week against St Helens. Here is Archie Morg. Morg running it. Morg taking them on.
And that's what they've not had enough of. They've not had enough of run threats from genuine speedsters with decent footwork.
Here's May on the last. It reaches Tompkins. Tompkins, little dink kick over the top. Davies claims it, but look at the Wigan players to stop him.
Turning over, boys. Turning over there.
And you look at that, 5 players.
Fixed handover.
5 players that's in attendance, just not allowing Tom Davies to offload that ball, get it back to the likes of Sam Tompkins or Matt Whitley.
Discipline now, Catalans. Discipline.
Do you know, in a game with this pressure, of this magnitude, we reckon that we're going to have made 345 and only missed 9. Incredible effort from Wigan, and every time that line has been broken or a mistake's made, a mate is covering a mate's back.
Catalan trying to restrict Wigan's progress here. The clock very much against the Catalan Dragons now. Wigan just need to ride this one out. As Kai Pearce-Paul manages to offload, and Bevan French scurrying from Bevan French.
Mate together. 4 boys hold.
Dream team standoff French. There's Toby King.
5. Move back up, Siwa. Come on.
King.
Hold. Go 5.
That's the 5th tackle. It's with Smith, and Smith again with a deep kick, but this one straight into the arms of Tom Davies, and Davies launches himself at the Wigan line.
1.
Well, that Wigan line's not going to let slip.
Go 1.
You just see the calls, and you can look at them. Look, nobody jumping around. Sam Powell just backing off, making sure that he's level with Liam Farrell and Cade Ellis.
Referee tells Archie Morg to get to his feet. Johnston trying to find a way through. Nothing doing. Busquets, very different proposition for the Wigan defence, but they're just as well set to cope with that. 4 tackles gone. McAlorum, here's Tompkins now. Tompkins, and the pass comes off Marshall. And I think Catalan will get this back, will they?
Yeah, he almost gets to the ball, doesn't he, Liam Marshall? Catalan will get this ball at the scrum. Comes out, he's almost got it, hasn't it?
Middle, boys.
And as if to emphasise the defensive effort of Wigan, we've got Morgan Smithies on 50 tackles. We've got Liam Farrell, obviously, it goes without saying, just a couple behind him. Some exceptional effort in the middle.
Let's get this scrum right, boys.
Catalan's hopes of coming of age in Super League by winning the title for the first time after 18 seasons in the competition. Their hopes are fading. Doesn't look as though there will be a fairy tale ending for Sam Tompkins either, because Wigan have dominated in this second half.
And that's been the difference, hasn't it? You know, Catalan prepared well, they were focused, they knew what lay ahead, but just couldn't go with Catalan in this with Wigan in the second half. Catalan.
Well, no team has failed to score a try in a grand final. So maybe that gives Catalan cause for optimism. Here is Morg. Morg, little kick, I think it was.
He's trying to force something, isn't he now? He's come on at 7. We've seen him a couple of times use the kick. I agree with Tez. He's on there to run, frighten those big men in the middle, run at them, expose the fatigue, and beat them with pace and footwork.
0 coming.
There's Marshall,
0.
Takiaho, and McAlorum with the tackle. McAlorum still out there, has been from the start. The Catalan Dragons hooker, amazingly, he's going around next season. Mickey Mack, 35 years of age.
Goal 1.
Here is Miski.
2. Move, Julian!
Looking maybe for a gap in the flagging Catalan Dragons defence, which it must be. It's been an epic effort from Catalan.
Yeah, it's been lung busting, hasn't it, for them? They've had to do it tough for 2 minutes, 2 10-minute spells.
4.
And the speed has certainly damaged their efforts in those periods.
But even with a full complement, they've rarely looked like troubling Wigan's defence.
They're up against a team that are in red-hot form. The last 10 games, 10 Super League games, they haven't been beaten. They've got a good kick again. The defence, though, on the back of it, it's again, just look at the numbers that they have. Yeah, they don't get another set of 6 here. The last 6 games that Matty Pete's men have played, they've conceded an average of 5 points per game. So again, look at that scoreboard. It's incredible. Their effort, the back end of the year, what they've been chasing down.
That's the turnover. Marshall came down with the ball for Catalan, but couldn't do anything with it. But look at that from Wigan. A present for their supporters at that end of the ground. All wrapped up.
I've really enjoyed the contest, Bill. I know certain people might talk about the lack of points, the lack of tries, but there's beauty in the brutality of our sport sometimes, and the commitment has been outstanding by both teams, but the class has been with Wigan.
But that sums up Catalan's performance. There's been about 4 or 5 moments of that, of passes going astray.
Well, chasing the game, the pressure of playing against a team that defends, you just can't break them down. You're looking to try and break them down, you're looking for that big play.
Kieran trying to burst through, French with the tackle.
And obviously with just a minute 20 to go, they've got to throw everything, haven't they?
May launches everything, but the kick's too deep. And Fields, is there still time for Jay Fields maybe to launch one of his solo counters? Whitley tackling to the last, coming up to the last minute of this game. Is Marshall, and Wigan back in the winner's circle. Saints relinquishing their grip on the Super League crown, and who should step up to take it from them? And this will probably add to the pain. It's the Wigan Warriors. Celebrations already on the sidelines. And away to our left in the Stretford end, the Wigan flags are flying. Matt Peets, calm, collected in his coaching booth. The Catalan supporters who've come here in good numbers, all credit to them, as Tommy Lulawai and Matt Peets celebrate. There's no celebrations for the Catalan players or the Catalan supporters. As Wigan launch one last tack, Tompkins gathers the ball, Tyrone May, and May will take the final tackle of the game. And Matt Peets and Wigan can celebrate a 6 grand final victory. On their first return to Old Trafford since 2018, Wigan take the spoils. Tompkins consoled by Liam Farrell, two former teammates, and Matt Peets. What a start it has been, what a continuation it has been to his senior coaching career. No joy for Steve McNamara, disappointment for his Catalan Dragons side, who could not find a way through this Wigan Warriors defence. Kate Cust out there to join the celebrations.